Hey everybody, out here in the playground today with Elijah, walking along the pond. Beautiful spring day. We get back. We down here at the park, and there was a playground at the top of the hill, and Elijah saw the pond and he goes straight for the pond. Ignores the playground, sort of like me when I was his age probably. But anyway, just wanted to take this advantage of this day where we're having this pond walk here and answer one of the questions I had from my subscribers, one of the subscriber questions on my YouTube channel, and that was, what's my opinion of the Braid to fluorocarbon setup? And if you followed my social media much at all, you know that I'm not a fan of the Braid to fluorocarbon, and I sort of want to explain why a little bit. First of all, if it's something that you like and it's something you're comfortable with, by all means, stay with doing it. But in my own personal opinion, I think it's an overrated setup, and I think a lot of it is because you see a lot of the pros doing it. A lot of people have tried to emulate that, but I think there's a lot to be said for the straight fluorocarbon setup, and I'll explain why. First of all, anytime you're I want to preface that, first of all, I do use Braid, straight Braid quite a bit, and I do use, the only time I use a Braid to fluorocarbon, it's not what most people think about it. I'll use it on a swivel setup, like with a fluke or a floating worm or something like that. Some 10-pound test Seagar Smackdown braid with an InvisX leader on it with a barrel swivel. But I'm not talking about the Braid to fluorocarbon knot that everybody uses. And the biggest reason I don't like it is the fact that there's two knots you have to tie, and there's more room for error, and there's it basically does not encourage you to retie as much as you would on straight fluorocarbon. And I saw firsthand how knots can fail, even people that know how to tie good knots. 2 years ago, I'd have won the US Open at Lake Mead if one of my co-anglers hadn't broke a couple fish off, where the fish actually surged the boat hard and broke his knot at his Braid to fluorocarbon, even though I saw him tie the knot and it was a good knot. So you got two weak links, and on top of that, Braid to fluorocarbon is not going to help you get any more bites at all. It's not going to get you more strikes. If anything, it's going to take away from the strikes you get, because you have this bright yellow braid a lot of times going down into the water 20 feet, even though you've got a long leader. I still think the fish are super aware of their environment. They can see a minnow, or they can get a minnow in the middle at midnight. So I know that if they can see a strand of yellow string running down into the water, so I think sometimes it could even hurt you to get bites on there. And thirdly, a lot of times, since there's no stretch with the braid, a lot of times people will break off more than what they would in the past, and I've seen that too. Now, the reasons I like straight fluorocarbon are just addressing those same issues right there. The fact that I've only got one knot to tie. I know the breaking strength of that line on a straight fluorocarbon setup, simply because I'm real confident on my knot and what they can handle and what they can't. And on top of that, I just think that you have better feel with the bait. I think the bait lays a little bit better in the water, and it's more forgiving when you do, have a fish on there. And I know one of the big reasons people use the Braid to fluorocarbon is, they don't have to worry about the bird's nest and all that type of stuff that you sometimes get, fluffs on a spinning outfit. But I'll gladly take an occasional fluff on a spinning reel and not have to worry about retying two knots, especially like in a 20-25 mile an hour wind, or having my Braid to fluorocarbon not fail for some reason. And on top of that, I'm just more confident if I'm fishing clear water, and I'm more confident knowing that I've got straight clear fluorocarbon going into the water where those fish can't even detect or sense any type of a braid that may be on there. But anyway, it's just like I said, it's all about what you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with that setup, by all means stay with it. But what I'm trying to say in this video is, don't feel pressured to use this Braid to fluorocarbon setup simply because you see some anglers doing it. Because you don't have to do that. There's straight fluorocarbon setup is highly effective. It'll still get you a lot of bites. And it's just a great technique, and always will be. So anyway, it's just my 2 cents on it. Thanks for checking in, and keep those questions coming. I appreciate it.